Hi everyone, welcome back. We're Chase and Heidi and we're with Florida Flow and Flavor. We're on our way to Cocoa Beach to do some surf fishing. It's the end of May and the Sargassum bloom is in full effect, so we wanted to see how we can navigate that on the beach and see if we could catch anything. So follow along and see what happens. We weren't exactly sure how successful today would be, but we wanted to go test it out and be able to report back to you. Some people suggest that you can find pockets where there isn't any sargassum in the way, so we wanted to try it out for ourselves and see exactly how this works out. We were in a little bit of a hurry today, so we wanted to stop at the local bait shop and pick up some live shrimp. Alright, here we are finally on the beach. It's a beautiful day out here, but as you can see on the right hand side of your screen, there's already pretty big sargassum buildup, so we'll see how that affects our fishing. I asked Heidi to get some bait in the water while I rigged up the rest of the poles, and it wasn't even 5 minutes and this happened. It was about at this point that I realized that the rod wasn't moving in a way that you would expect with a fish being on the other end.
Are you sure you're not stuck? Huh? Huh? The waves can make it feel like it's a fish too, if it's stuck, especially.
I mean, it's pulling out.
Yeah, the waves will pull it out, but it should feel like shaking. fish.
It just feels like it's turned, like it's going straight out that way.
And I see it.
Oh. It feels like it was like pulling out.
Yeah, the waves will do that.
And if it doesn't, maybe go that way. Maybe I walk a different way. Unless I get.
So now we are starting to determine that it is in fact stuck and it is not a shark. So I proceed to try to get it unhooked from the bottom or whatever it's stuck on. If you look closely at our line here, you can start to see all of the sargassum wrapped around our line, and that is a clue to the culprit. So what I think was going on here was that we were hooked up into so much sargassum in the water that we literally couldn't reel it in, and then as this moved with the waves, it made it feel like it was moving like a fish, and so Heidi thought there was a fish on the other end. But one way to tell the difference is that the movements will be a lot faster than the lapping of the waves when it's a fish, and so if it's more consistent with the cadence of the waves, then it's probably not a fish. It was about this time that I realized I was gonna have to go for a swim, so I flipped my bail and went back to the beach so I could empty my pockets before getting everything wet.
Huh? It still is. Yes. Yes, it's stuck. It still is stuck. I'm just putting.
In this situation, the leader ended up breaking off, and this same thing happened a bunch more times. If the sargassum wasn't tangling our line, it was fouling up our hook or breaking off our leaders, and so this was pretty representative of our fishing experience with all the sargassum on the beach. So folks, our takeaway is if you see a beach looking like this with sargassum built up everywhere, probably the best bet is to just skip surf fishing that day. I mean, we literally went through about 5 liters and a bunch of different tackle that we lost just trying to wrestle with the sargassum. I normally want to argue that you got to make the best of the fishing conditions that you have when you're fishing in Florida, but today it just didn't make sense. But the beautiful thing about fishing in Florida, even the worst fishing day can be better than any other day. So we just made the best of it and hung out the rest of the day on the beach.